this event's about wounded veterans?
Wounded veterans. It helps wounded veterans. All the money goes to the veterans.
Fundraiser?
Yeah.
How many miles does this ride go for?
Who knows? It can go on forever for all I care.
Really? But what's the route? Like, where do you guys go?
Today we're going to go, let's see, Malden, Saugus, Revere, Lynn. Used to go then over to the racetrack. This time we're going to end up at Anthony's, Canal Street.
Oh, in Malden.
Yep.
Yeah. How much money do they raise for this event? Thousands, obviously, right?
Yeah. I mean, last year was 7,000 plus bikes, so figure everyone an entrance fee, plus rider, money spent here, donations.
Are you in a band?
No.
You just look like you'd be like an unbelievable rock star.
Oh, thanks, but no.
Monday. Are you from Canada?
Yeah, originally.
I just guessed that. You don't even have the accent.
Yeah, I do. If I didn't have a mouthful of meat, I'd probably sound more
I
like
know, your breath is horrible.
Oh, thanks, man.
Just kidding.
I'm not trying to get you. I'm not trying to pick you up, dude.
I'm only
I'm
kidding.
trying to keep you off.
How long have you been involved with the whole wounded veteran situation here?
This is my first year volunteering, but I've been attending for probably about 7 years.
Wow.
On and off.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now, do you have a bike?
I don't.
No?
I don't. But I love them.
Do you ride on someone's bike? Because I'm sure a lot of guys want you on their
I
bike.
did not today, but I have.
Monday. This is a great cause. I mean, it's for an unbelievable cause, wounded veterans. But I'll tell you what, I would rather just write a check myself than come wait in a line. I would go bananas waiting around here all day. Like, look at it, everyone's like, you know, mellow, got their bikes going, the loud noise. I don't think Mr. Monday could take that. It's not his cup of tea. But it's for a great cause, I'll tell you that right now. The guy who runs this does a great job. Guys like you are the reason why this whole thing has started.
I know, Andy Biggio, man, saw the need, brother needed some help. He ran into me and said, Tim, come and support this. So I'm here at my point of place of duty.
Wow, that's great, man. Are you still active or?
No, I'm out of the Marine Corps now.
Cool.
But this is a reverend event.
Right.
This is fitting for this uniform.
Sure, you look good in it.
Thank you.
I bet you look good out of it too, but you look good in it.
Hey, it gets me a lot more free alcohol.
So this is Andrew Biggio Jr. He's in charge of this whole thing. You're like a god out here. Everyone, I'm bringing up your name and everyone.
You just got to do stuff for the wounded veterans, man. You know, they're the bread and butter of this country, so.
That's awesome. Yeah. What a great, impressive day, man.
No, thank you for being here. Seriously, thank you. We love it.
No problem.
You're making us, die laughing. I want you to have down here, interview some of these crazy bikers, and have a good time.
There's a lot of crazy people here.
Yeah.
A lot of scary looking people here.
Yeah.
A lot of nice guys.
Yes.
But I'll tell you what, everybody is praising you.
Good.
So,
Thank you so
pretty
much,
good.
man. Thanks
You're
for
like
being
twice your age, You're like a young guy. Put this together.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Great work.
Thanks so
You're the
much.
best. You're the best.
Be a man.
So you were singing today?
Yes, I was just doing a little bit of a sound check. Yep, so I get to do the Star Spangled Banner for today. This is awesome. And I'll be accompanied by one of my best buddies, Joe Maloney on the electric.
Wow. Now, do you always sing the Star Spangled Banner at events?
I do a lot for the vets. I do.
Monday.
Now, who you guys with?
I'm Mr. Monday. Oh. Breaking Balls is the name of our company.
No way.
Yeah.
I bust balls for a living. Everybody wants me to go an improv.
Hey, really?
That's all I do.
Yeah, get a hold of us. Come on.
They're like, do you have an act? I'm like, no. I just walk up there and go, hey, sorry I'm late. I had to walk around this guy's fat girlfriend. What are we filming, the 400-pound life while we're here? And that's before I even hit the stage.
Welcome to the I Love Monday show. I'm your host, Mr. Monday, and I'm here with one of your favorite people and one of my favorite people, Kat. How you doing, Kat?
Yeah!
What about our guest tonight?
Dude, I couldn't be more excited.
You psyched for this guy?
I mean, I took him down, and then he was crying about it, but, I helped him back up. He's okay now, but I think he's excited to be here, too.
So today's Veterans Day. We just want to thank all our servicemen and women who fight for our freedom. Thank you. Without you guys, we can't have a show like this.
Yeah!
God fought for our love, and the troops, you fight for our freedom. Thank you.
Yeah! Very insightful, Mr. Monday.
Husky, how you doing?
I'm doing good. My fortune cookie said something different.
Okay, what's this? What did it say?
It said, "Have a great weekend." And we did. Didn't
What'd you
we?
do this weekend?
We went to Comics Come Home. We had like a little specialty backstage pass access thing. We got to rub elbows with some of the best comedians in the world.
Yeah, we sure did. Who was your favorite?
Pete Holmes, probably. Pete Holmes cracked me up. I'm a big Bill Burr fan, but Pete Holmes was
Bill
really
Burr,
funny.
something else, that guy. And what about Cam Neely? We had Cam Neely. He said he loves Mondays.
What a great guy. 25 years, that foundation.
What about the short guy, Michael J. Fox? Is that his name?
We're going to sneak him in there, but
Yeah, we got him on camera. Said
he
I
loves
love
Mondays. Yeah, big fan of the show.
He's dating a girl a lot taller than him.
Yes.
Every girl that hit puberty is a lot taller than him.
Yeah, I mean, she was nice.
He's like 5'2", isn't he? He's small.
Childhood idol, man. That guy, he was in everything good.
Hey, he seemed like in better health than I thought he'd be.
He's a good guy, just hanging out.
All right, Klusk, who's Miss Monday?
Miss Monday this week is Kiki. She's 25 from Monrovia, Liberia. That's on the west coast of Africa. She's been a massage therapist for 4 years, and Mondays are her favorite days. Miss Monday is brought to you by Sammy Carlos in East Boston. We knew we had a guy from East Boston on the show, so we wanted to make him feel at home. Head down to 567 Bennington Street in Eastie for the amazing breakfast and lunch. It's the best catering around. It's at 617-567-0058. We've been eating it for the last 2 hours.
Steve, you did a great job tonight. Steve at Sammy Carlos.
Incredible.
I mean, it's 3-foot sub.
Yep.
All right, chicken broccoli ziti, chicken palm, salad. Oh, the salad's in the fridge. Someone take it out. It's still in there.
Nobody wants that.
It's got pepperoncinis on there and everything.
That bread is rocking my nuts off.
Yeah,
The bread's the best.
That's when we had those breakfast sandwiches, and that bread was just so
His
good.
breakfast sandwich is unbelievable. But Stevie is like the best of the best. He really is. Great guy. All right, let's get right into shoot the shit.
Yeah.
Microscopic Animal could change space travel forever.
There is an 8-legged micro animal called a tardigrade. These things live on moss and in trees. They're microscopic. They're the only thing on Earth that could survive a nuclear blast, high levels of radiation, and they do that through an enzyme. It's a protein they produce called a DSUP, a DSUP. The geneticists want to combine this creature's DNA with human DNA so that we can eventually travel through space easily. I don't know how that
So
works.
a human and an animal? What do you think about this?
I wouldn't want to be the person that has to collect that DNA sample.
That's disgusting.
How do you jerk
you're
one
gonna
of
need
those things off?
tweezers and binoculars.
I mean, could this cure disease? Could you put this on your body and protect yourself?
No, you would grow moss on your balls. This is not what you
No,
want
that
to do.
works.
This is a...
If that's how it was, then they did a lot of research for nothing. If you just had to put it on your body.
But that looks like an elephant.
Part of an elephant, yeah.
But what is this thing?
Yeah, it does. They're microscopic. It's like a little bug. That's amazing, though. I don't know if it's because of their size that they're resistant to a nuclear blast, but part of the reason we can't space travel is because large waves of radiation would just cook us over time. And this would prevent that from happening. So if you're willing to have sex with one of those, we might be able to get to Jupiter.
Who came up with the name of this? That's what I'd like to know.
My limited understanding is that is how they time travel in Star Trek. So maybe some nerd.
All right, let's see what's going on in Florida. Always something going on in Florida. What happened in Florida this week?
Well, the same thing that happens every week. This surveillance video shows a female burglar painfully tumbling from a ceiling onto a metal kitchen counter during a break-in. The man and the woman broke into Bowls and Brews. That's a restaurant in Ojai, Florida. And that was Halloween morning. Despite the fall, her accomplice managed to get away with cash and wine, hundreds of dollars. A lot of crime duos down there in Florida, huh?
Listen, there's more transients in Florida. If you've been to Florida, if you ever hang out down there, everyone from all over the United States, all over the world, that's where they end up.
Always.
And it's a lot of drifters down there. The people are all nuts down there. So, I mean, it's only natural that they're all screwy, drugged up people in Florida.
She looks like every Buffalo Bills
So
fan.
they broke into a restaurant?
Good for
Yes. This happens all the time. This is the third or fourth time we've caught.
They're walking in
videos
the
of
ceiling
this.
like this.
See, the good
This
thing about her
cannot hold the man.
The good thing about her smashing her skull off of that stuff is that she wasn't that smart to start out with. Just no damage.
Kyle, you've never
That's
huffed
fine.
paint
That's
and
good.
pretended to be John McClane before?
I've never huffed anything. Klosky.
We gotta hang out.
Yeah, right.
What do you mean? I've never huffed something. What are you people talking about?
If they were smart, they wouldn't have done it the day after Halloween.
I
They would've
agree.
been
Sometimes I
more-
sniff
Yeah, because the
magic
Halloween
pockets.
costumes are half off. They could have gotten the masks
Exactly.
and they would have gone away with the whole thing.
idiots.
Telling you.
Yep.
Florida.
All right, let's go to the next one. Virtual reality can help ease chronic pain.
All right, so idiots were trying to use virtual reality to make people not feel things, which is what pornography does for me. These people, though, they were shown icebergs, freezing oceans, and sprawling ice scapes on virtual headsets to induce thoughts of cold within their body. Like the same way you would use an ice pack, they were tricking them visually. None of it worked. They just kept using electric shocks to, I don't know, give them some type of reaction to it. At the end of the day, they just electric shocked people that needed care to begin with.
So, I mean...
So Dr. Brendan Spiegel just tortured people with their permission while they looked at icebergs.
Yeah.
And came up with nothing.
Carl, have you ever done virtual reality?
No, virtual reality is not real, okay? So this is all...
It's in the name!
This is all bullshit. I mean, seriously. These people aren't even sick in the first place.
All right, how about this, right?
They usually do the testing on volunteers before they do it on the herpes.
No, they're sick.
Virtual reality is not real.
These people are sick.
None.
Would you want to sit at the 50-yard line of every Super Bowl from now until the day you die?
No.
Well, I mean, come on, work with me here. Some of the virtual reality technology that they have is they'll set up a seat at like an opportune place within like the stadium. You can go in your living room, put that headset on, and it feels like you're sitting next to somebody famous.
I would rather really be there. I don't like this fake shit.
All right.
That's how I feel about it.
I would rather be in my living room, to be honest with you. I hate people.
Different strokes for different folks, pal.
And I want them all to stroke me.
All right, we have something else about McDonald's again. McDonald's does it again. What's going on?
Parrish Brown went into a McDonald's on Hilton Head Island, and he asked for a sweet tea with light ice and extra lemon. That was back in October. He believes that light ice with extra lemon was code for marijuana since he found 3 bags of weed in his cup. He says that he only realized it once he was high as a kite. He alerted the sheriff's office. They went and investigated the McDonald's, didn't find anything, and he says that the McNugget and double cheeseburger came out normal.
So, I mean, people who work at McDonald's smoke pot, right? Would you think the workers?
Sure.
I'm guessing that the guy making whatever he makes at McDonald's doesn't have enough money left over to spend $60 on a bag for a guy driving through the drive-thru for no reason. That doesn't make sense.
Raise the minimum wage.
I agree. Yeah, you want your hamburger to be right? Raise the minimum wage.
Do you think this guy's full of it?
I think it's an absolute scam. I think he probably got in trouble with it and then tried blaming a McDonald's or something because how do you brew like the guy didn't realize it tasted like weed versus Earl Grey? Like, I'm not a tea drinker, but I would know the difference.
And that was probably the most organic part of his meal at McDonald's was the weed. It was the only thing that was actually naturally grown there.
Fair point.
It's not grass-fed.
Hey, people are getting worse things at a McDonald's. Last week, somebody got hit with was it a blender or something?
Yeah, someone got hit with a blender. Someone whipped a hot coffee off someone's face.
Those people have hard jobs, and a lot of people coming in there are assholes. It's like a recipe
it's
for
tough. I feel bad for McDonald's workers.
I do too.
They take a lot of crap. All right, last one here. 2 in 5 people misdiagnose themselves after consulting Dr. Google.
This is becoming a bigger and bigger problem. 43% of the people that have done this misdiagnose themselves, and it caused them some type of bodily harm because they're going off of what they think are their symptoms and what Google is telling them is wrong with them. I think that the problem is more with doctors today. When you go into a doctor, you just tell him your symptoms and he gives you a prescription. So how is that any different than doing it on Google?
I just feel like everyone thinks they can go on Google for everything. YouTube, you can learn everything on there. I mean...
But you can.
But I mean, it's not real. You go to a doctor.
It's so real.
Yeah, but YouTube cannot prescribe you penicillin.
Why do you need penicillin?
If you're sick.
Very specific.
Right?
Actually, if you remember, one of our first guests would Skype you prescriptions for like, topical creams and whatever.
Who was that? Dr. Gold?
Dr. Gold.
Okay.
Remember we had that horrible rash issue and we did a Skype interview and
the one that all of you
What's
guys
the most
had.
often thing you Google, Klusky?
Like a medical thing?
Anything.
The last couple of weeks I had all this pressure in my ear and I thought like my brain was going to explode, but it was like a sinus infection or something like that. But I correctly diagnosed it and did what everybody is supposed to do. Absolutely nothing.
How about you, Kat? What do you Google?
I mean, I don't Google medical things because...
All right, see?
I do it when I want somebody that's already a hypochondriac to freak out more. But that's just funny, so...
I think Klusky might be a hypochondriac.
He is. Well, he's afraid of people, too, so... He doesn't want to be touched by the doctor. You love being touched by doctors.
Tight spaces.
My doctor is very handsome.
Yeah.
Okay.
His strong hands.
Yep, he does.
He just makes you feel safe.
Klusky, you want to take us into the break?
Yes. We were lucky enough, as we said in the intro, to go to Comics Come Home. Cam Neely's Foundation. We are the coolest people in the world, and check us out. Yeah!
Here's Mr. Monday, back doldrums of the Boston Garden. We're in this hallway. Look at this carpet. It's like psychedelic. I'm getting a headache from this stuff. We're back here. We got Comics Come Home tonight. 25-year anniversary. It's the 25th year. Cam Neely's Foundation with Dennis Leary. They raise a ton of money for cancer. Mondays. Let me ask you, you like Mondays?
I love Mondays.
Do you love Mondays?
I love Mondays.
You love them a lot?
Oh, yeah, very much. Monday's the beginning of my weekend.
That's right. That's good. I like that.
I work on the weekend, so Monday's my day off.
That's when you make your cash.
Yes.
Now, this is like Boston Comics Come Home. Why do you guys ever leave here?
Why did we what?
Why did the Boston Comics leave Boston?
Why did they leave Boston? They're stupid. I don't leave. No, I actually left. I left a couple of times. I went to Los Angeles. I went to New York. But I came back.
You had to go a couple spots to make some extra cash?
No, you try to become a star.
Well, you are a star. What do you mean?
Yeah, well, not big enough. Not big enough. I need everyone to know who I am.
We want to know if you love Mondays.
Not my favorite day, but it follows the weekend, which is good, and it starts out the trip to the next weekend, which is good.
Oh, so you're the weekend guy.
I'm a weekend guy.
Could you do me a favor? Just look at the camera and just say, I love Mondays.
I love Mondays.
Are you excited for tonight?
I am very excited for tonight. It's going to be awesome, and it's super, stacked.
Are you like one of the only females?
I'm not like one of the only females. I am the only female.
You are the only female. She is something else. And you know what? She was on the I Love Monday show.
I was on that show, and I enjoyed my time there, and I would go back.
We want you as a co-host.
Oh, fantastic.
Very soon, we're going to call you. We're going to reach out. Yeah. My people will call your people.
Call me because I'm my people.
Mr. Monday.
Mr. Monday.
You look like Shooter McGavin.
Shooter well, I don't even know who that is.
Are you rolling on that?
That's fine.
You've never gotten that?
Tell me who that is. Tell me who Shooter McGavin is.
You look like you have a photo of Shooter McGavin on your mirror.
Is he a handsome son of a bitch?
He's a very good-looking man.
So you're making a pass at me?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, you turn that Monday into a Sunday, baby.
No, a Tuesday morning.
Okay, there you go. I wanted you to enjoy the Monday after the night.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Mondays? You love Mondays?
I'm a comedian. There is no Monday to a comedian.
So every day's a funny day to you?
Well, I mean, every day's a Saturday to a comedian. That's the main appeal of being a comedian.
Right.
Sometimes I go out on the weekends and I see all the non-comedians out and I forget. I'm like, why is it so crowded? I'm like, oh, right, it's the weekend. That's not really a thing for us.
So you guys kind of lose track of days like senior citizens.
I don't know. Yes, that's right. And I don't know what day today is.
Mr. Monday over here with John Mulaney. How you doing?
I'm great, Mr. Monday. How are you?
Now, was that a Delta pin right there?
No. But I fly Delta occasionally.
You do? I didn't think you liked Delta.
I did a very long stand-up bit ripping the airline apart, but occasionally you gotta fly Delta, especially to Vegas. And
First class.
I'll get on if I get the upgrade. And they walk. When I'm seated, they walk past me and they go, "What are you doing here?"
What's this guy's problem? Is this guy an Aerosmith?
I just asked him when his show was, but I knew it was Mondays, but I had to.
Dennis Leary, right?
Yeah.
What time is it on Mondays?
8 o'clock.
Shouldn't it say I love Monday at 8 o'clock?
No, you should be on the show. I don't know where you've been.
What is the show?
The best show. Ask Lenny about it. He's been on the show.
But what is it? Where's it on?
It's out of Swampscott, Mass.
The best show is out of Swampscott, Mass. I can't believe that media saturation has reached the point where there's a show in Swampscott, Mass. Yeah. That's when we know we have too much television.
Listen, it's not only a show, it's the best show.
The best show.
And Mr. Monday's the best host. Cam Neely, legend right here. I want to ask you a quick question. Were you tougher and a better fighter on skates or off skates?
Well, I tried not to do it off skates because you get handcuffs. On skates, you get 5 minutes in the penalty box.
Good answer. That's a great answer. I still got a left hook and a right cross for Alf Samuelson. I still can't stand that guy because of what happened.
You should look him up.
Wait, do you have any idea where he is? Because I want to find that guy.
He's still in the game. That was a long time ago, and certainly very frustrating.
Hey, great job with this whole organization. This is all started because of your parents. I remember when you started it, and this is, wow, it's morphed into this. Incredible.
It really is incredible. I never would have anticipated 25 years. I was hoping for one. Right. And now, 25 years later, it's pretty impressive.
How are you? How you doing? Mr. Monday, this guy's the star here. Look at you.
Right, look at my jacket.
I like it. I like it. I like your whole style. Very
style, too.
Has business cards.
Come on, let's go. Just got them printed up yesterday.
Look at that. He's won Super Bowl titles. I mean, this guy's the man. I love it.
Listen, why? This is called Comics Come Home. Why would you ever?
Dennis just steps right in the
Hey, Dennis,
shot.
take care.
Yeah, just
Thanks for coming in, buddy. All right.
Step right in the shot. I mean, how many movies you made?
So what's going on? This is Comics Come Home. Why would you
Yeah.
ever leave Boston?
Why would I ever leave Boston? Because there was a ceiling. You know, there was too many funny guys above me, and I knew I wasn't going to get funnier than them. So I had to go out where the pickings were easy. I had to leave Boston. You know.
Don't you have a pretty good podcast on a Monday?
Yeah, it's doing all right.
It's doing pretty good, I heard.
Doing as well as you. I mean, I don't have a clothing line.
Yeah.
Mondays are pretty good, unless you're hanging out with this guy. No, I like Mondays.
Standing room only for you
That's
tonight.
it. That is it, Stan. That's what I try to do. Get the people out of their seats.
So a lot of people don't know, but Wiggy and a lot of you people out there are idiots. You don't realize this was the tight end that started the Patriots dynasty. If you think about it,
It was.
Yeah, he was.
Don't worry about Ben Coates.
Okay.
No, you don't have to worry about him.
Seriously, this was the tight end who started.
Bob Cook.
Yeah,
I love Francis. There's a few other guys, but hey, it started with me. And then Gronk.
That's true. 2000, the year 2000, 2001, he was the guy.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was good times.
So East Boston, dude.
That's right.
Now, what part?
Born and bred.
What part you live in?
I grew up like right around like the Salvers area, Saratoga and Brooks, Bennington and Brooks, you know, near Riley's, kind of over in that area. Not too far from Reno's. I remember Reno's. Now everybody knows
Little.
about Reno's
Yeah.
because of diners, dives, and drives, I
Yeah,
believe
yeah.
it is. But I used to walk by Reno's all the time, so.
Now, what was it like playing for the hometown team? Being from, was that tough?
Not really. It was more, for me, it was because I grew up a Pats fan. I remember 86. We all remember 86.
Sure.
Pats were up 3-0. I mean, we could
Yeah.
at least hold out on
We
that.
thought we were gonna win it.
Yeah, before the Chicago Bears decided to, do their damage. And
I think
remember
that's the best defense, by the way, ever.
the 85 Bears?
Yeah.
I mean, they were good. They were good. The Ravens were good. This year's Pats team, though, we'll see. There's still a lot of football left. And then 96, I was in Georgia, and I remember, I believe it was, I want to say Terry Glenn, who just caught a touchdown, and then Desmond Howard went 100 yards.
Yeah.
Adam Vinatieri was held.
Yeah, so, growing up as a Pats fan was, for me, I never had aspirations about playing football for the Patriots. I was, a big basketball guy growing up. But it was to play for the hometown team and then to play at Foxborough and help them win a Super Bowl. It's just surreal,
What was it like with Bledsoe Brady? What did you think about that at that time?
It was pretty interesting because at the time, Drew had just signed that big contract. I don't know if you remember.
I
He signed like a $100 million deal.
Huge.
And then when he got hurt, we all had confidence in Tom. I don't think we all knew that he was going to be the greatest quarterback to ever, lace up the cleats. But when he got hurt, we thought like when Drew got healthy, that's when he would come back and they would be Drew. But Bill had said, you know what, we're going with Tom, and I guess that's why Bill's the G.
and Bill we trust.
Bill we trust.
I feel like that year there was
Super Bowls later.
a few other teams that had like a quarterback controversy
Well,
sort of thing. And if it wasn't for Bledsoe being the way he was and
Yeah.
supporting the team and supporting Brady, not saying anything.
Well, I think that was the biggest thing is his personality.
Yeah.
He you knew he was upset,
Yeah, right.
but he didn't show it, like say anything publicly
Right,
that could,
right.
rock the boat, or he didn't throw a wedge into anything. He didn't divide the locker room. Players in the locker room offensively were just like, hey, listen, we all love and respect Drew, and we all thought, he was going to get his job back because you can't lose your job to injury.
Right.
Then when, Brady, when Bill was like, all right, we're going with Tom, and that's his decision, I think we all knew, like, it's Bill's way or the highway, and,
You guys
Super Bowl
carried
later.
4 quarterbacks. Do you remember
Yeah,
that?
we did. It was Drew, Tom,
So David,
Heward, and, damn, I forget who the other
Davis?
one.
Wasn't
Might have been-
Top Tupa
no,
was
it might
a
have been
backup quarterback
Freeze.
too, wasn't
It
he?
might have been Freeze or, it wasn't,
How did you remember they had 4 and not know who they were?
No, it wasn't Ron Davey. It was
I just
the
knew
kid before him.
Yeah, I thought it was Davies.
The other black quarterback before him, no. Yeah, Michael Bishop.
Michael Bishop.
said that. Michael Bishop.
But they carried 4 quarterbacks. Now they carry 2. It's like,
Yeah, well.
and Brady was number 4.
Yeah, Brady was 4, and now look at him.
And they knew.
He's number 1 in everybody's hearts.
Now, you were a money player. You were like a money receiver.
Okay.
So
I like
every
that.
14 listen, every 14.
I like this show.
Listen, I did a little research.
Every week.
Every 14 receptions you caught was for a touchdown.
Okay.
All right.
I'll take it.
Is that just off the top of your head?
No, that's the truth.
I'm going to believe what he
I
says.
believe
So,
it.
Fucking did the division, okay?
There you go. It's it.
Think
You
about
heard
that.
it. I mean,
Inside the red zone, this guy was unreal.
yeah. Well,
Think about it, right?
Is there like a on the NFL or anything? Can you go and like type in a player's name and get like a readout of a history of
Yeah.
stats and all that and everything?
yeah, you go to Pro
I
Football.
don't know. You go on
Reference.
Google all the time. You should
Yeah,
know.
you just said Google.
I know.
You can get anything from
You
Google.
don't want to see my search history.
No, you just said you can get anything from Google.
Fair
The,
enough.
the tight ends that he
Again.
gives out from football, those are more like.
You gotta get off Pornhub. You gotta go to. No, but yeah, you go to Pro Football Reference and Pornhub. It's a kid site. Yeah, it's where you can play video games.
I mean,
so
well, I was gonna say you played in the snowball there.
I did.
You did
Yep.
excellent in the snowball.
It was a
10
good one.
catches in the snowball against the Raiders, and that was the game of the tuck rule.
Yeah.
When you
from the
saw
second
that,
I was there.
what did
Were you really?
My birthday.
There you go. I was there too. So we got something on.
when you saw his arm coming forward, you saw the ball on the ground. What did you think?
Well, it was pretty interesting, right? Because if you remember the play, I'll kind of take you through like what really happened. They brought a blitz. Charles Woodson blitzed off of my side, and Tom should have looked to my side. I was on the right, so he should have looked right.
Safety.
No, I was just in the slot running a quick little slant route, but he looked left. So when they blitzed, he should have been throwing it to me, but he looked left, and as he went to throw it, they took the defensive end, and there was a zone blitz, and they brought Woodson off. They took the defensive end, and he dropped him, and as they dropped him right in Troy Brown's passing lane, and so instead of him throwing it, which would have been an interception, he went to go like this, and that's when it hit his hand, and then the ball was literally from where I am to where you are, and I was getting ready to jump on it, and Greg Beaker jumped on it right before me. And we had all thought it was a fumble, but it was crazy. It happened earlier in the season against the Jets, and that's the genius of Bill Belichick, challenge it and everything. And that was a rule that had been in place, and it had been they had kind of overturned that a lot of times, and so.
There was several other calls that season for the tuck rule that were far more egregious
Right.
than the one in the snowball.
Right. So that was the thing.
that was very much.
But a lot of people
spirit
don't
the
realize
rule.
that. A lot of people think that tuck rule, that was the first time it was ever
It
used.
was, and that wasn't at all. It was
Right.
all season. It was a problem
Right.
for other people.
Yeah.
And it got called against the
that's
so.
when we.
That's when everyone started calling the Patriots a cheater. That was the first time.
Yeah, well,
That was the first
when
time.
you're on the top of the mountain, everybody wants to knock you off.
That's right. So what's it like being an analyst? So you went from being a player, and then you went to be an analyst. Now you're a radio personality.
Yeah.
How's that roller coaster?
I mean, I'm just really, at the end of the day, I'm a shit talker. I'm a fan like everybody else.
Right.
I'm a fan like everybody else. I tell people all the time, I was a fan long before I was a professional athlete.
Right.
And then I just, I always want to see the teams that I enjoy rooting for do well. And fortunately for me, I'm from Boston, living in Boston, and I get to root for all these teams. So I just have fun, I'm the same guy that you would hear in a bar talking the same way I would talk on a radio. I'm not changing for nobody, and I just kind of say what's on my mind.
How did you talk on the field, though?
I was a bit of a shit talker on the field, but I still am. I like the back and forth, the fun. Growing up as a kid, we used to call it ranking on each other, right? We talking shit about somebody's hair or this, that, and it was all in fun.
Nobody ever talked about your hair.
No, I was fortunate, but then again, I had this hair, and everybody I knew had this slip back Italian hair. So
who was like the biggest shit talker that you played against?
Ah, man.
Or even played with.
Brady was a big shit talker. Yeah, Tom was a big one. He was definitely a big one. But there were a lot of guys I played with that Randy Moss was a little bit of a trash talker. So it was fun, But that's what football's all about.
Yeah.
Did you ever think about getting into coaching?
I always did a little bit. I remember Coach Dan Henning was like, you should get into it. But my career was always bouncing around. And so, being married with 3 kids and little kids, as a coach, you might bounce around. You see a lot of coaches get fights. So that was my playing career, and I didn't want to really turn that into my, coaching career. And plus, as an analyst, you can make good money doing it.
Sure.
You don't have to bounce around all over the place. So, but I would enjoy doing it.
I bet you'd be a good coach.
Yeah.
What about Belichick this week? They lost to the Ravens. What do you think the practice was like this week? And what do you think upset him the most about the performance?
I would think the thing that upset him the most was probably some of the basic mistakes that they made, especially defensively. Assignments, alignments, gap discipline, all that football talk, right?
Uncharacteristic offsides on a third down.
Yeah, but the offsides penalty, the one on the field goal, I thought was bullshit. Then there was another one later that I thought was bullshit. But the things that would get him, that would obviously upset him. But things, the long run that Mark Ingram had, just poor discipline or poor tackling or not being in the being in the right assignments and that kind of thing.
But he must have talked to him after the first quarter because they definitely made adjustments.
Right.
In the second quarter, people are focused on doing their job.
Right. Well, you think about it. The first half they gave up 155 rushing yards. In the second half they only gave up 55. So they made the adjustments. But the thing that killed them is they had the turnover, which led to a scoop score fumble. So. You can't bury yourself in holes like that.
Yeah.
Well, you got a Belichick story for us?
There's a lot of Bill stories. The thing that a lot of people don't realize about Bill, and I say this to this day, the thing that makes him, in my opinion, one of the greatest coaches in, fortunately but unfortunately, I played for a lot of teams throughout my career. So I've been around a lot of different coaches. And the thing that really makes him a great coach, I started in this league in 99 with Parcells as my head coach, and Belichick was the defensive coordinator. But the thing that really was no bullshit with him. So I remember it was the 2001 season, the season we won the Super Bowl. And this is what to this day, I always tell him when I see him, not only did he teach me stuff on the field as a player, but life lessons. And it was just like, literally do your job. When he says it, that's what he means. I'll never forget it. We were playing against the Rams. It was a Sunday night game, and it was in Foxborough. We played them pretty good. We had a chance to win that game, and that was one of the main reasons why when we played them again, we knew we could beat them. And so it was a backside play, and I was blocking. I was on the backside, and it was a cutoff block. So, and Grant Winstrom was the defensive end. He was a pretty good player. He was good, big, but he was inside of me, right? So here I'm lined up, and he's lined up inside, and the play's going that way. So I got to cut him off, and so I try to go cut him off, but he was inside, and he beat me across my face, and he makes the tackle in the backfield, and then. I think it was the next day in practice or, the next week in practice, Bill's, flinging his whistle. And he's like, God damn it, Wiggy. What the fuck was that on the backside of Ride 35? He's like, and I'm like, just because Bill, you don't say nothing. Bill's like, he's like the Don. You don't say nothing. You say the wrong thing, you'll end up in the river somewhere. So I'm like, yeah, coach. He's like, God damn it. If you fucking can't cut off the backside of Ride 35, I'll get somebody in there that'll do it. God damn it, Wiggins. Cut the backside off. And ever since, this, after he told me that, I said, there's no way anybody beats me because I knew Bill didn't play around. So if I didn't cut him off, he would have cut me somebody else. So I made sure I was tagging I'm grabbing heels, ankles, whatever I can do, making sure no one's going to beat me across my face. But the thing that I learned from that, it was, he wasn't bullshitting, and that was the one thing I respected him as a coach. He told you, hey, this is what you need to do. You either do it, or we'll get somebody else in there that will.
What other coaches you played for? You played for a lot of teams.
Yeah, I started with Parcells, and then obviously Belichick. I was with Tony Dungy, Mike Tice, John Fox, Jack Del Rio.
All good coaches.
Yeah. Who else? Brad Childress. I was with a lot of guys.
Who was the second best coach?
I would say there's 1A is Belichick, and then there's 1B Parcells.
Oh, really? Yeah.
That was the first 4 years in the league for you, right?
Well, that was my first 2 years in the league. And Parcells, I love Parcells. Parcells was, I'll never forget my rookie year. I come into the team meeting, so we have the meeting, and after they draft everybody, the first day that everybody has to meet. So my rookie year, I
That's with the Jets, right?
This is with the Jets, 1999. And so we go into the team meeting room. So think like a big auditorium, but, there's seats everywhere. So I'm looking to sit down places, right? So I go to sit somewhere and, it was like Mo Lewis is like, nah, you can't sit there, Rook, right? So he's like, that's Jumbo Elliott's seat. So I'm like, all right, no problem. I'm just a rookie, undrafted. So I go to another seat and, you got Brian Cox like, nah, Rook, you can't sit there. That's Jumbo's seat. So I'm like, all right, go to another seat. And, Keyshawn Johnson was like, nah, Rook, that's Jumbo's seat. So, like 5 or 6
a lot of seats, Jumbo.
So, 5 or 6 seats later, you end up on the front row, right? You end up on the front row. Because I don't know if you ever met Jumbo Elliott, but this was
Huge.
a man that, when I say his head was this big, that was just his head. And the guy was 300, no bullshit, a impressive 320 pounds just doing pull-ups like they were nothing. And the crazy part of it, Jumbo was like 6'5", 320 pounds, and he drove like a Maserati, so it was like a little Ferrari. And he had this Frankenstein look on his face. It's one of those kids like growing up from the neighborhood, there's a lot of kids in Southie like this, like the Irish kids that like you couldn't fight him because just punching him wouldn't do anything.
Right.
So you had to have a bat or a brick. But even then you knew it wouldn't do anything. He would keep coming. So that's what he was kind of like. So you steered clear away from Jumbo. And so finally I make my way to the front of the meeting room. And the door rumbles off to the side. And it opens up. And here comes Parcells. This is the first time. And I knew Parcells from 96 being a Pats fan.
Right.
I knew him from, you want me to cook the groceries, you at least let me shop for the food.
Right.
And, I growing up in Boston, I was a huge Bavaro fan, so you know him from the Giants. And he walks up onto, like, the little stage area behind the podium. And so he just he tells all the rookies, first day, stand up. So all the rookies stand up. And he just goes down the list. And, he's like, first guy, he's like, I really didn't want to draft you, but some of these other motherfuckers did. So I have no choice but to draft you. You're probably going to make the team because we got to pay you, but I didn't want you here. Just going down the list, berating guys, because he wanted to play head games. And he's like, Wiggins, there's no way you make this team. He goes, I'm doing this as a favor to your coach that I know. And you're from Boston, so you're probably a Red Sox fan, and I can't stand the Red Sox, so you will not make this team. So that was my introduction of Parcells.
Were you bummed?
No, I was like, mentally, I was just like, got to do whatever I could do to make sure. But he did that. He played these mind games with you because he knew if he could break you mentally, you couldn't play for him.
Right.
So he knew, and so, Parcells and Belichick were very similar, but Parcells wasn't, Bill's not as like, that's how Bill's kind of like the silent assassin.
More technical too, maybe.
Yeah, well, when you get off the field, Parcells is looking for you, screaming, yelling, motherfucker, he's grabbing you by the face mask, where Bill is just giving you the death stare, like.
Which one's more upsetting?
And then he takes that pen. So he's like,
which one did you hate more?
Then he comes, and then the position coach goes, "Hey, you're done." Bill said you're sitting for the rest. But I think so they were both very similar as far as them being honest and them not bullshitting, but their personalities were night and day.
Right. So you went to East Boston High and then the Bridgeton Academy.
Yeah.
So was Bridgeton Academy where you made your name in football?
At East Boston High, it was like we played football, but it wasn't like big.
It's like D5 or something, right?
Yeah, it was D5, and West Roxbury was big back in, and obviously Everett. So I was a basketball player growing up because I didn't start playing football until I got to high school. Because I played Pop Warner, but there were weight limits, and I was always a big kid, and so you had to play up. So I didn't, do that. I just played basketball. So in high school, I was a quarterback and a linebacker. Then I went to prep school for 1 year, and that's where I played tight end at Bridgeton Academy. And so that's where I kind of got the opportunity to play. But I was always a kid, you know, for us growing up in East Boston, you go to the schoolyard and play.
Position.
Yeah, you play in the streets and everybody's out to throw and catch. So you were usually a pretty decent athlete. So catching a football wasn't very difficult, or, you know, throwing it. So when I got a chance to play tight end, I mean, I could already, you know, catch a football and run routes. You know, I just had to learn them and that kind of thing.
Did you get a lot of offers? I know you went to Georgia.
Yeah, no, I
went to Marshall first.
Yeah, I went to Marshall first. So no, it was I'll never forget. I was in my buddy's apartment. You know, my best friend that I'm still really good friends with.
What's his name? Let's give him a shout out.
Yeah, Danny Ecasella. He's a kid from Easton.
What's up, Danny?
Yep. So I'll never forget. I was having trouble like with my SATs or whatnot, and Northeastern was like, "Hey, you can come here to play the Northeastern." I was like, you know, my mother goes, "Well, how much is it going to cost me?" You know, I grew up in a single parent household, so I didn't have a father or anything like that. So my mother was like, "How much is it going to cost me?" And the guy was like, "None. He'll be on scholarship." She goes, "Oh, you're going to Northeastern?" She's like, "Because I can't afford it. You know, we could barely." You know, her famous line was, "You know, we don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out. You know, there's no Rockefeller tree in the backyard." You know, how many times I heard that one? Money doesn't grow on trees, and our last name ain't Rockefeller. For the longest time, I was like, "Man, who the fuck is Rockefeller?" I had no idea. I was like, "Man, I wish our last name was Rockefeller."
Did Danny take the SATs for you?
No. Unfortunately, he didn't. You know, yeah, it would have mattered anyway. So, I mean, if he had taken them for me. But so what happened was, he goes, "You should go to prep school." And I was like, "What is prep school?" I had no idea what prep school was. He's like, "Yeah, you go there for a year and that's it." And I was like, "Yeah, that's it." He goes, "Yeah, I guess you go there and you work." Like he knew what it was, and so then we talked to my coach, and the high school coach, and talked about prep school, and my mother goes, "How much prep school going to cost?" And the guy goes, "It won't cost you nothing." He goes, "All right, well then you can go to prep school." So that's how I ended up at Bridgeton, and then I went to Marshall, and when I was at Marshall for 2 years, my head coach Jim Donnan took the head coaching job at Georgia, and he was like, "You want to go to Georgia?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, I want to go to Georgia." I mean, kid growing up in Eastie, I thought that was like, you know, that was just knowing that was.
Did you think it was an island?
I thought it was like, I knew what football, like Georgia and Notre Dame and Michigan and all that, like as a kid growing up, like that was college football. But for like kids like me from Eastie, we thought that was a fantasy land.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That was our only sense of geography, is like the football team.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about the country, just like the logos.
I had never been
teams.
on an airplane. So I was like, when I went to West Virginia, I was like, what? You know, I had never, the furthest place I had been to was Maine. And my mother said, well, once you got to Danvers, she was like, "Oh, no, that's too far."
That's the boondocks.
Yeah. When we couldn't see the buildings no more, we were like, where the hell are we? You know, that was it.
So the year you left Marshall, the next year, Randy Moss went there.
Yeah.
Because of you were the recruiting tool for Randy Moss. Right?
Well, I hope I wasn't, because that would mean he came because I left. But Moss ended up coming there. He ended up coming to Marshall. And then I went to Georgia with my head coach, so I had missed Moss in college, but fortunately we met back up at Minnesota.
You guys were
Yeah, Moss and I were teammates in Minnesota, so.
Oh, that was a good team that year too.
Yeah, the Vikings, so he was a really good teammate. And plus Moss was, I say this all the time, I'd never seen anybody like him. And I played with Champ Bailey down at Georgia, who was another freak of nature.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Moss was 6'4", could walk out of bed and run a 4.2.
Yeah,
that guy was
amazing.
It was amazing, unbelievable.
Yeah.
So you had a good team at Georgia.
Yeah, we had a good team. And I played there 2 years. We went 8-3, and then maybe 9-2. Played in some bowls, but that was before the whole BCS thing. It was just you had to be undefeated to play for a national championship.
What do we got for Wiggy?
Well, Wiggy, you've been around the league. You played for several teams, multiple Super Bowls, one with the Pats, one against the Pats.
Yep.
We want to flash some quick All-Pro teammates on the screen.
Okay.
You let us know the first thing that comes to mind, all right?
All right.
All right. This first guy is the all-time leader in games played in the NFL. He played 25 seasons, and he's one of 2 kickers in the Hall of Fame. In 2004, what was it like working with Morten Andersen?
You know, it was pretty cool working with Morten Andersen. He was somebody, like you said, he had played so long, and I was the emergency holder.
Oh, really?
You know, so I used to, like, hold...
Once in a while?
That's terrifying.
Yeah, well, that was like, if the house was burning down, and we had nowhere to go. We had no fire extinguisher. We knew we couldn't get out. Then, hey, Wiggy, you would hold it. But he was very methodical in everything he liked, because when I played with him, he was later on in his career. He was like an Adam Vinatieri type of age.
He was in his late 40s, right?
Yeah, so he was real like...
He could still be playing, I think, this guy.
Ball has to go this way, ball that way, turn it this way. So I learned a lot from a guy like him.
Did he ever say laces out?
Yeah, always laces out. Did you say they say one word for him, or did you say ask...
No, listen.
No, that's it. No.
Okay. Yeah,
That was good.
Okay.
You can say one word if you want.
Well, with multiple words. So
you said a lot of words.
Yeah, I did say a lot of words. I mean,
it's all good.
The next guy is an all-pro receiver who always played bigger than his size. He's a world-class competitor and a shit talker. What comes to mind when we say Steve Smith?
I heard he beat you up.
Yeah, he did beat me up, but don't tell anybody. No, Steve Smith. I will say this about Steve Smith. Arguably one of the best wide receivers I've ever played with. He played
pound for pound. I mean,
yeah, he played with that chip on his shoulder and that nasty mentality, which made him a great player. And I said he was kind of a bully, but he picked and chose who to bully. But that's what ultimately I think made him one of the best receivers in the game, because he wasn't the biggest guy, but he played, man, he played angry, so yeah.
Attitude.
Yeah, he played with a major attitude, and sometimes that trickled off when he was not on the field. Which
Did you have an argument with him?
Yeah, him and I had some words at one of the Pats games. He didn't like what I said about him, which was true. I just basically said he's one of the best receivers I ever played with, but he's kind of a bully, and he picks and he didn't like that, and so. He decided to try to bull me. So
I worked too good for him.
I said, well, you're kind of making my point here.
So did like Matt Chatham have to break that up?
No. We just it was words. It was more barking than biting.
Hey, speaking of Matt Chatham, I think he does a great job.
Yeah, Matt does a good job.
He's really good.
Matt knows his X's and O's and that kind of. And I even say this about Steve Smith. I enjoy him on NFL Network.
Yeah, he does.
In other words, it's funny. He got mad at me for saying something as being like an analyst, and now he does the same thing. So it's
you guys will probably end up working together.
Yeah, it's one of those oxymorons. Right? You're mad at me for saying negative stuff about you, but now you say negative stuff about people. So
he's passionate.
Yeah, I guess is that what they call that?
I'm being political.
Is that the clinical term?
I don't know well enough to say anything else.
Yeah, be careful. Be careful what you say.
This next one, you played with this last guy during the season that started it all. He was the 199th pick out of Michigan, has turned into the greatest of all time. Tell us something we don't know about Tom Brady.
The thing I will say about Tom Brady is he's the same guy that I remember when I showed up to New England back in 2000, towards the end of the season, and we were running show team together on the scout team. He's the same guy then than he is today. And that's rare for guys who have went from,
Right, stardom.
Yeah, that's rare for, like you said, guys who were fourth on the depth chart to now I don't even say arguably, the greatest football player to ever play the game, that he's still the same person. He always makes it a point when he sees me with the kids to come over and, speak and talk and that kind of thing. So that's the one thing that stands out more than anything, because I played around a lot of guys and their personalities change when they get success or their careers grow. But he's the one guy now that I'll still see him and we still kind of shoot the shit. He still owes me. We have a $100 bet that we haven't been able to figure out in, I don't know, how long has he been playing? 19 years?
20 years.
Yeah, 20 years. We had we played pool at the Rack one time. And it was funny because he couldn't get, I knew a couple people that, worked at the Rack, bounces and stuff like that from, growing up out here. And they used to, sometimes you get a bouncer who's a ball breaker, and Tom would always have trouble getting in the rack, and I would be like, yeah, he's good, don't worry about it, he's he's on the team, blah blah blah. And they'd let him in, and now I'm like, you really don't need me no more. But we played pool one night, and I played boys club rules, East Boston boys club rules, and he hit the 8-ball in on the break. And the way I play,
the game's over.
You lose. That's it. But in California, that's a win. So we had a $100 bet. Until this day, we've we've never been able to.
It's a Boston rule.
No, like you're 100% right.
Yeah, well, but in California, the rule is it's a win. So, it's one of those games that it's been on pause for 20 years. He's got other things he's trying to take care of. So,
You think you got a couple plays in your left?
Because
They could use you.
They could see this guy. I don't have one play left in me.
They could use you this year. We need a tight end.
I may have one play, and that's on the goal line and run to the corner route. But that's as long as nobody runs with me.
I was going to say, if anybody touches you.
Yeah, if anybody touches me, the play's not going to work.
Now, what about Gronk? Is he coming back?
I would like to see him, but I think that Gronk ship has sailed.
Yeah.
I'm holding on to hope.
Me too.
Every day. We got till November 30th, so hopefully we can get him back before then. But
we need him, man.
Yeah, I'm holding on to hope. I'm holding on to hope for him and AB. Maybe one of them will come back.
AB's done.
Yeah, well,
He might be done.
Yeah, so.
We're going to take a quick break. I met Bill Burr the other night at Comics Come Home. Check this out. He's a real treat. We'll be right back.
How are you? How you doing? Mr. Monday. This guy's the star here. Look at you.
Look at my jacket.
I like it. I like it. I like your whole style. Very
style too. Come on, let's go. Just got him printed up yesterday.
Look at that. He's won Super Bowl titles. I mean, this guy's the man. I love it.
Listen, why? This is called Comics Come Home. Why would you ever?
Dennis just steps right in
Hey,
the
Dennis,
shot.
take care.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming in, buddy. All right.
Step right in the shot. I mean, how many movies you made?
So what's going on? This is Comics Come Home. Why would you ever leave Boston?
Why would I ever leave Boston? Because there was a ceiling. There was too many funny guys above me, and I knew I was going to get funnier than them, so I had to go out where the pickings were easy. I had to leave Boston,
Don't you have a pretty good podcast on a Monday?
Yeah, it's doing all right.
Doing pretty good, I heard.
Doing as well as you. I mean, I don't have a clothing line.
Yeah. Sis, I invented this clothing line.
You did. You're crushing it, too.
Want me to mail you a jacket?
Yeah.
I've always wanted a short sleeve sport coat.
Yeah.
I think that they. I feel like that's what's the world's been missing,
I mean, seriously.
Yeah, with the global warming, but you still want to look presentable at work. I think you're onto something here.
Forearms like this.
Although I don't know, you need the little solar panel fucking necklace you got there. It's costume jewelry to the next level.
You don't like it, huh?
No, I like it.
Are you gonna be in Star Wars?
Am I gonna be Star Wars?
Yeah.
It's like the perfect sci-fi, dude. Fucking Star Wars. Lightsaber. Yes, I am. The Mandalorian. I don't know. I believe that qualifies, right? Yes.
When's that coming out?
I think it came out today. Maybe today. I don't know.
Hope it does well, man.
So do I. Why do I feel like you're setting me up for something? You gonna be in Star Wars? When does that come out? What do you think? You're fucking bigger than me?
I've just never watched one Star Wars movie ever, like on my whole life.
All right.
Just not a fan of it.
Great. So what, am I supposed to help you out with that?
No, but maybe I will.
Dude, you are too old for this Instagram vibe where you just made that whole thing about. He asked me all these questions about it like he gives a fuck just to bring it back to him. Like I'm supposed to be like, wow, you never saw an episode? Jeez, you're interesting. You read books?
No, I don't read either. I can't read.
Joking. I know you don't read. I can see it the whole way you're dressed.
Look at my outfit, my wardrobe. Let's just talk about this real quick. I got the Jordans on, okay? They're probably $600 Jordans. Someone bought them for me, okay? People buy things from Mr. Monday, all right? True Religion jeans. Look at these things, okay? I don't got a bubble butt, and you can't have a bubble butt to wear these fucking things, okay? But I'll tell you what, you go to Nordstrom's Rack, you go there, you get a nice pair. And my patented short sleeve suit coat. Come on, I invented this shit. I made this up. It's going to be going nationwide. Everyone wants these. People from Taiwan are going crazy for this stuff. I'll explain that later. And then, of course, your I Love Monday t-shirt. Monday!
I gotta tell you, dude, I just love your outfit. Like, it's from all different decades, everything that was cool. Those Jordans were cool in the early 90s. These were cool jeans in the 2000s.
What kind of pants are they?
What kind of pants are those? Those are inside out, stone-washed, overcast gray grape smugglers. And then you got the sport coat that matches Pete Carroll's pants.
Right. What about the
you
Monday,
got costume
Monday
jewelry?
shirt? Let's talk about the Monday shirt.
Monday shirt looks like one of those Bunny and Maria weddings. The shirt kind of stinks. You want to cover that up. You want to less is more with that. Jesus Christ, dude. This was like a burlap sack that you just fucking put a collar on. This is terrible. That's how you do it. You never unbutton this. You never button this one.
Just in case you have to take a wee-wee. Although maybe after Me Too, you're supposed to button this up so nobody feels threatened.
Could you just look at the
Hey,
camera?
do you put mousse in your pubes too?
Hey, at least I can put him in there. Are you bald down there too?
Huh? Yeah, I shave it. I'll show it to you later.
Makes it look
As long
big.
as it's
Makes it look bigger.
Yes, it does. Makes it look bigger.
I wish you had a fire bush. You know, I really do. I wish you had a nice fire bush.
Well, you know what? I can grow it back for you. Might have to dye it like Nick Saban's hair.
Could you just look at the camera and just say, you love Mondays?
Mondays are pretty good. Unless you're hanging out with this guy. No, I like Mondays. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, man.
All right, brother. Thank you very much. All right.
So, Kluski, I heard we got some fan mail.
Yeah, Mr. Monday. The Dear Monday segment has people of all types and from all over the place sending in letters looking for advice. We're ready to run through some. Are you guys?
Yep, let's go.
Great. This first one is from Javier. He just moved to Maverick Square in Eastie from Baltimore. He says he just met a new shorty that wants to impress. What's a good spot around here to eat?
Well, from Meridian Market's right down the street.
Yes, Meridian Market's a good
All right,
one.
It's a great place. Obviously, Milano's is another good one.
Milano's.
Sammy Carlos was
Sammy Carlos, yep.
sponsor tonight.
Well, I don't think you can go wrong anywhere in East Boston, Javier. I mean, truthfully, if you're going out, you know, there's obviously Reno's,
Santapios.
Yeah, there's Tops.
This guy looks vegan to me. Do you
Yeah,
know
I
any
mean,
vegan
I don't know if
restaurants?
he's, you know,
What's that weird place in East Boston that's supposed to be real good? This Roy's or something?
Roy's Cold Cuts.
I've never been there.
Roy's Cold Cuts is good.
Never in my life.
Yeah,
But is
they
that
got
a place that's going to
No, that's it. No.
shorties?
He's not taking a shorty to Roy's Cold
Yeah,
Cuts.
yeah.
He might
Roy's
want to
Cold-
take the shorty there.
Well, I don't know if he wants to go there. There's no seats or anything like that. You just go in there and order a sub. He'll be eating in his car.
That's the perfect
If he
date.
has
It's like
one.
we got to go back to our
Kluski,
place
what is
now.
a shorty, anyways?
That's
Short,
a female.
stocky?
No, it's just a female.
It's someone that you want to spend a couple weekends with, but you're not going to put a
It's
ring
just
on
another
it.
word for a girl you have your eye on.
But she's not short.
No,
She
she's
doesn't
not
have
short.
to be.
No, it's a
She can be
short.
whatever size she needs to be.
Yeah, we got to get Mr. Monday. Get him the Urban Dictionary.
Yeah.
The next one is Michelle in New Brunswick. She says she's been down on her luck lately. She's depressed, but she watches the show every Monday, and that's been keeping her positive and laughing. So we're doing something right. She wants to know, Mr. Monday, what do you do to keep yourself positive when you're not having the best day?
Listen, I just think about handicapped people and people who have ailments, and no, I just feel how lucky I am.
And that makes you
Wondering where
positive.
you going with that right away
You know,
for
if
a
I get
second.
bummed out, I
though.
just think about how lucky I am. I got Wiggy up here, I got Cat up here. Come on, I'm a lucky son of a gun. All right.
Aw.
Life goes on. Enjoy
Right.
it, okay?
That's
Michelle, calm down, relax.
Yeah, I'd rather be standing on the dirt than laying underneath it.
That's right.
So that's the way I look at it.
Same here.
Yep. When I get depressed, just Pornhub. The last one sent in is
A lot
from
of
Eric.
categories.
Eric
Which one of your categories? Be honest.
Well, we did a whole segment on
Oh,
tags.
okay.
We've done the
Well,
tag.
A lot of solo
Actually,
stuff for him.
next time we have you back, we'll do the tag segment.
Okay,
with
don't
you.
say
That was a good
cuckold.
one.
I don't know what that is, but somebody said that's big.
I mean, I guess depending on how much you love your wife, it's really going.
What is cuckold?
It is when your wife goes and lays with another man.
How do you know? What about?
You are then cuckolded. You are a cuckold.
Could it be the other way around?
I don't know. I think you're just cheating at that point. No, it's more eloquent when a woman turns you into a cuckold.
Oh, okay.
That's eloquent?
No, I don't know.
Oh, no.
It's not my problem.
All right. Awesome transition into the next one.
How do you spell that?
We'll stick to the home invasion.
I love that that's the tag. This last one was sent in from Eric in Saugus. He says, Mr. Monday, I know you have a lot of Italian home remedies. Anything for an inner thigh heat rash in the winter?
Who gets a heat rash in the winter unless you're sledding? Maybe you're sledding
How
with
aggressively do you sled?
I mean,
How do you sit on the sled?
maybe he picks. He might have picked some girl up at the Palace and caught
like-
something from her.
I think he got it from the two-man luge.
What about the Palace and the Bahama Beach Club?
I tell him lose a few pounds because if you're getting a heat rash between your thighs,
Rubbing together.
yeah. Maybe you want to stay away from the meatballs and the pasta.
It might be kind of hefty, this guy.
Well, that's. I mean, if you're getting a heat rash between your thighs
In the winter.
yeah, usually they're rubbing against it.
Some sandpaper snow pants or
Yeah.
something.
Sandpaper snow
The guy
pants.
looks like Post Malone if his dad didn't hate him.
Is that our last one?
I believe so, yeah.
Hey, keep sending them in. I love the Dear Monday segment. It's awesome. Hey, Wiggy, where can people find you on the radio and TV?
I do WEI with the Greg Hill show. We do Tuesdays and Fridays with him. I do Mondays and Wednesdays with Dale and Keefe. I do the NFL Sunday on Sundays. Just on social media, JWiggs85. That's where you can find me.
Beautiful.
Who knows? I might be just strolling around your neighborhood too, because I'm, always out there looking for a good sub shop.
All right. Well, we got to have you up again. Hey, can we have a round of applause for this guy, please? Hey, thanks for coming up. You're awesome.
No problem. Anytime. I had a blast.
Good job. Yep. Hey, another great Monday in the books. Monday on 3. 1, 2, 3.